Hi, I'm Rich Story. Welcome to another Level Up Cartooning. All you ever need to follow along with me is a pencil and paper. It doesn't get any easier than that, right? Okay, so if you've been with me for the past month, then you know we've been drawing turnarounds of the early stars of animation from the legendary Fleischer Studios. We've drawn Coco the Clown, Bimbo, Betty Boop, Popeye, and his arch nemesis Bluto. Today we're going to wrap up our Fleischer Studios deep dive with the last great animated series Max and David Fleischer undertook, and certainly one of their best, Superman. In 1941, Fleischer Studios' parent company, Paramount Pictures, wanted to exploit the phenomenal popularity of the then new Superman comic books, and so they tasked the Fleischers with producing an animated version of the Man of Steel. The first cartoon in the series, simply titled Superman, was released in September of 1941 and was nominated for the 1941 Academy Award Best Short Subject Cartoons, eventually losing to a Pluto cartoon, Lend a Paw, from Walt Disney. It was shortly after that, and having only produced 9 Superman cartoons, that the Fleischers were let go and the studio's name was changed to Famous Studio. And with that, Fleischer Studios faded into history. Today we'll be drawing a turnaround of that 1941 Fleischer Studio version of Superman. Keep that in mind, as it may or may not be a version of Superman that you're used to seeing, of which there have only been about a zillion. Anyway, before we get started, make sure you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button, as it helps this channel to grow, and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson. Alright then, let's draw from Fleischer Studios our Superman turnaround. We're going to draw Superman step by step, giving you the secret formula to be able to draw him again and again. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I normally use the character's head to figure out how big the entire character is. In this drawing, Superman is exactly 7 heads tall. In other words, however tall his head is, his entire body is 7 of those tall. One last note, unlike the other turnarounds we've done, I'm not drawing Superman from behind. I just thought with his cape covering up much of his backside, it seemed a bit boring, and by keeping it to the other 3 angles, it gives me more space to draw them larger. Okay? So let's draw the roadmap for our Superman turnaround. So there's a roadmap for our turnaround of the Fleischer Studios version of the Man of Steel. Now before we go on to step 2, I want to give you the layout of Superman's body using simple shapes for those of you who want to screen grab. Again, just something to help you envision how to lay out your drawing. Now we're on to step 2. In this step, we do what I call roughing out the features. I want to remind you that until the third and final step, you want to draw as light as possible. You'll see that I use guidelines to help me to know where to put Superman's squinty, stoic eyes, nose, and kind of strangely drawn mouth, among other things. We don't want those guidelines in the final drawing, so you want to draw them light enough to be able to erase them easily. Okay? So let's rough out the features for our Superman turnaround. Okay, so there are the roughed out features of our turnaround of Superman. So now with the roadmap done and the features roughed out, it's time for that final step. In step 3, we get to have fun. We get to draw on the final details of our turnaround exercise with Superman. We don't have to guess where to put things because we've already done all the hard work figuring that out. As I often say, I want you to be present. And what I mean by that is you don't want to just mindlessly retrace over the lines you've already drawn. As you're drawing that final line of Superman, you want to be thinking about how you might improve it, staying vigilant until the very end. Okay? So let's draw on the details of our turnaround of Fleischer Studios' last big star, Superman. And that's how you do it. There you have it, our turnaround exercise using the star of the last big hit from Fleischer Studios, Superman. So how do you think you did? Understand, if you've never drawn any pose of Superman before, you can't expect to have drawn him perfectly. You notice I don't spend time coloring Superman during this video because I want my lesson to focus solely on the drawing process. Now you have the secret formula, the process for drawing the Man of Steel himself, Superman. And with that, you can draw him again and again. And by all means, color him when you're done. I promise each time you draw him, it'll be a little better and a little easier. I also promise the more you work with me, the better you're going to get at all of your cartoon characters. So I'd love to see your turnaround drawing of Superman. If you can, take a picture and post it on either Facebook or Instagram. And don't forget to include the hashtag LevelUpCartooning. So I hope you had as much fun as I did drawing turnarounds of all these stars from Fleischer Studios. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep drawing, my friends.